Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts on the very first Zoom meeting I've ever done in 2021. I mean, the world's come, unglued with Zoom with the COVID, and here I am just learning about it. But I figured this would be a good opportunity to talk to one of my good friends, Jim, here about something we've made in the past, a video we made in the past, a couple videos, because normally on my videos, I have people that say, well, you showed this with analyzer, this and that. We want the more professional approach. And that's why I bring Jim over here. Jim, introduce yourself.
My name is Jim Allen. I'm KB4OVL, and I've been in the LMR business for 45 plus years.
So we call him Motorola Jim, and he is big into professional land mobile radio, which I'm just trying to just now getting into. I look for him for guidance and advice because he's seen it all in Motorola and Harris and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to take a little more of a professional approach based on what Jim has found, because he saw my videos. I talked to him locally, and he saw the videos about my the antennas I got from COMPACTenna. Okay, these are sent to me from COMPACTenna for videos, and I was quite amazed at the performance for a stealth design antenna. But a lot of people had bought these, and a lot of people were familiar with them before I made a video, but then there was a few people that said, we want to see real results. Is that thing really working? So that's when, for the first time at HamRadioConcepts, I want to take the professional approach. Now, Jim, I let you borrow these two antennas, right? This is the scan. This is the Scan 3 and the dual band. Dual band does 2 meters and 440 at 7 inches. And at 9 inches, the Scan 3 will do 2 meters, 440 GMRS, and up to 800 and 900 megahertz, all in a 9-inch form factor antenna. Now, so what Jim is going to give me here and show us in a second is what he found on the antennas when he borrowed them. And I also lent him, we're going to talk about this in a second, I also lent him a couple magnet mounts that I picked up. Okay, there's a difference in magnet mounts. I want to talk about that, but we also are going to share his antenna sweeps with his Anritsu SiteMaster, which is a very expensive antenna analyzer for professional grade that will show exactly what he found with those, because I trust his opinion over mine. So Jim, tell me about, I'll let you borrow these antennas. Tell me about what you think about these two antennas.
Clearly, for a stealth design antenna, they are very good. We placed basically the dual band primarily on my son's Silverado pickup truck. We mounted it up on the driver's side front quarter panel using a non-penetrating NMO ankle mount that he found on the marketplace. And then what I did is I took his dual band diamond, swept it as a comparison, and as a baseline standard, how a typical antenna would react in this mounting configuration. And then I put the compact antenna in place and swept it there. And then I also did the sweeps with the Scantenna 3 because I actually have some interest in that for the land mobile market. So with that said, my findings really was that the Scantenna worked as, or COMPACtenna worked every bit as good as a standard antenna, if not in a lot of respects a little bit better performance-wise in a corner location mount as that. I mean, honestly, if you have the room, you're going to put a roof-mounted antenna. The roof-mounted antenna is absolutely going to outperform, but you don't always have those options. And that's like my son's Silverado. They have a lot of plastic on that vehicle, and trying to do a roof mount on that vehicle was quite challenging. Plus, being a new vehicle, he didn't pop a hole in it. So
well, let me stop you there for a second. Let me stop you there. So you said a couple things now. So this antenna, from my understanding, is designed. Let me show you this again. I've showed the videos on this. This has a 9-inch design with a NMO style mount on here that's designed to go on a NMO style mag mount antenna, or as we saw on your vehicle, you had it as like a trunk lip mount or a hard mount. You didn't drill through, but you used like a trunk lip mount with an NMO connector, correct?
Right. It's basically a trunk lip mount, but it's just one we found designed that used existing body bolts, so
okay.
It gave you the same insulation as a standard trunk lip mount.
Right. So when I first checked this antenna out, it's designed to be mounted in the corner body of a vehicle. And I didn't understand that, because normally, from what I know, and Jim, you're more professional than I am, you put it in the middle of the vehicle in the omnidirectional pattern with the ground plane of the vehicle, right? But in this situation, I made a couple of videos and people said, well, that doesn't convince me, because you had it on there, you were talking to a guy, 12 miles away on Simplex, a big Jim, but what's it going to do, on the road? Does it pick a fence, repeaters? But so what I'm getting at is, with this antenna right here, normally a 5-foot dual band vertical on a roof, if you have the room to mount it, would probably outperform this. You would agree, right, Jim?
It most likely will, although my results actually found it worked quite well in comparison, going over same areas that I've used a roof mount antenna.
Okay. So, I mean, this is primarily designed for people that don't have the room or real estate on their vehicle to put this, put a 5-foot antenna on, because my vehicle, my work vehicle, I have like 6 antennas on there and a couple dual bands, whatever, and they smack everything, trees, drive-throughs and stuff. And some people, I want to put this one for GMRS on my diesel, because I don't want all this, obnoxious antennas on there. But the first thing people say is this little antenna is not going to perform like a full-size antenna. I know a full-size antenna, you have more metal in the air, but tell me about your, because you told me on the air on D-Star and the local repeater, what is the range comparison, honestly, between having something like this that you mounted with a trunklet mount on the front fender of your vehicle versus what you normally run to a D-Star repeater? What's the honest range test, or
honest range testing? Honest observations, I found maybe a mile or two less overall range here in Florida on it. We're pretty flat here, and running D-Star, I would basically, my talk back range was limited by about a mile to 2 miles less range total, in comparison to a roof mount antenna. So it really wasn't that drastic of a difference as far as of loss. And again, center roof on a pickup truck versus on a fender on a pickup truck. So it performed very, very well.
Right. Yeah, and I found that it performed very well too. So now I'm going to talk with, before I go into the sweeps here on my computer, because do you have it? Well, okay. So I'm going to show you a couple things. What's that?
I have it pulled up on mine, so I can talk to him about it.
Okay. Well, I don't have them pulled up on this one, but I'm gonna check those out here. So I have 2 mag mounts here. Did you end up checking each one of these mag mounts? One is made by Diamond, and one is made, this one here is made by Diamond, and one is made from some Chinese Amazon $14 mount. Did you happen to put the antenna on each one of these, or any of these?
Yes, I ran that actually with all 3 antennas as a comparison also.
Okay, because what I found, I'll tell you what I found, and tell me what you found. This antenna mount, now Diamond makes some really good products. This says on the online it's rated to up to 500 megahertz. I found that the COMPACtenna did not do so well on UHF with this Diamond mag mount. Did you find the same findings?
I found the same thing, and I actually found it with my standard dual band Diamond antenna also. That I noticed the VSWR was higher on 440, noticeably higher than the other mag mount you provided.
Okay, so then I bought this one. The reason I bought this one was because you can see on here the one is higher than the other. And the first thing I thought, I'm not saying this Diamond is not good. What I'm saying is this COMPACtenna, the way this is designed by Dr. Jack, doesn't seem to react perfectly at UHF with this mag mount. And my goal of saying this for the people that are watching or listening or learning is, don't automatically assume your antenna is no good if you can't get a good resonant point or a good SWR, because it may be the placement of your antenna, it may be the design, the match you have, because I get a lot of people that say, oh, I bought this antenna because you made a video on it and I'm not having the same results, but they just try it one place and they toss it or send it back. What do you think about that, Jim?
Oh, that's true. Placement is critical of the antenna. Also, the design, overall design and structure of the mag mount. Remember, a mag mount antenna is a compromise at best anyway. You don't have you're inducing a ground plane versus having a true hard metal to metal ground plane. So it is going to impact your overall performance too.
Right. Because I'm just trying to give a little insight for those who are new, because they want to put their first antenna up, and it may not be this, maybe something else from another manufacturer. But I've been through that where, man, this doesn't seem like it's got the same results as what they tell me online when they sell it, but it could be the body of your vehicle, the placement of your antenna, what. So then I put it on this little $14 China mount, which seems to be the deciding factor. Is this is closer to the body with the magnetic coupling than this one would be, and that's what I dumbed it, drilled it down to, was that this one may be not cooperating with this COMPACtenna, with the mag mount coupling versus this one. So I put this one on, and I seem to have better results on VHF and UHF. Now, what do you say about this $14 mag mount versus your hard mount? Did it show that the hard mount was better? Did it show that the mag mount was equal to the hard mount? What did it show you?
Differences between the hard mount and the good mag mount were minuscule. There was, of course, a little bit of a difference, but there was not a substantial difference. I mean, when you looked at the diamond, there was a substantial difference, specifically at UHF.
Okay.
You were looking at about a VSWR around 3, and on the diamond, I recorded a VSWR around 9.
Yeah, I was up to like 10. It was just way up there. Yeah.
Right.
So can you share your screen? Do you have those sweeps, Jim?
Yeah, I think you had me disabled here. Let me see if I can share screen.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Are you getting the?
Well, it's way zoomed in. Way zoomed in.
Yeah. Let me pull that down a little bit here. There you go.
Okay, it looks good, I think.
There you go.
So what I want to talk about, because you swept this thing, you sent me like 30 different sweeps on this thing with return loss and all this. And what I'm trying to go through is to see on a professional level of what you found with this expensive Anritsu Sight Master, which I had when I used for work. I don't think I'm as proficient at it as you are, but you looked at this thing at multiple angles, and give me what you think my viewers would like to see as not a selling point, but the fact that this is a more professional way of testing this antenna. Does it actually give you the readings that you would expect? And what do you think, Jim?
Yes, it does. Okay, this first one's just basically it's just a graph of what the findings here. You'll see in the sweeps as I scroll down the document here. Okay, going into this one, this is your. I use this as a reference for a standard dual band, the diamond antenna.
So tell them what they're looking at on the screen for those who don't know what this is.
Basically, you're looking at a VSWR plot, and I've set my markers at 140, basically 144 and 148. So you're looking at a VSWR curve of the diamand antenna mounted on the driver's side back quarter panel near the A-pillar on a Silverado pickup truck. So you can see there the VSWR is running 5.3 to 5.2.
The graph showing 135 to 174 total sweep, but you've identified the 2-meter band of 144 to 148 in between the blue and purple.
Right, that's the two markers that are there. Marker 1.
And
marker
this is
2.
on which mount? This is a standard dual band antenna.
The standard dual band antenna on the vehicle NMO trunk lip mount.
Okay.
Okay. So now scroll up to the next one. This is the same. Now looking at it at
return loss.
Return loss. Okay. This is another unit of measurement that we use to see how good the antenna is performing, and as you can see, it's quite high. You want it to be 14 dB or lower.
Okay.
And we go on to get into the UHF band here. Doing the same thing. You see the antennas performing much better at UHF band in that location.
That's the standard dual band antenna you use.
That's correct. All the first plots I'm showing will be for the standard dual band antenna. And then there's your return loss.
Which is better than 14. Just better than 14. Yeah.
Just better at basically 445.
Okay.
So now we go into the dual band compact.
The 7-inch COMPACtenna dual band. Okay. On the same mount you just did with the dual band or the standard dual band?
On the same mount. Yep. And now look at your VSWR there for the amateur band. It's much better.
Yeah, under 1.9 to 1.
Yep.
Okay.
And then your return loss. Still not quite getting to preferred threshold, but not bad.
Okay.
Okay, so then we go up into the UHF band. Again, much better at 440.
Right in the middle of the band, it's almost 1.0 to 1 almost.
Right, and if you look how wide I swept, I basically swept everything from 370 up to 520, and
Right.
you're getting up in the UHF-T band before you start getting anything that's not acceptable.
Right.
So that antenna is good across all UHF band, anything from range 1 or actually range 0 right on up to the end of range 1.
Okay.
And then your return losses. You see some spikes where it does perform, but it's not bad across the band.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we move on into the Scan 3 antenna.
That's the 9-inch, and then that one says it will do in the 300s, UHF, GMRS, 800, and 900, and 2 meter on one antenna.
Right, and as I mentioned earlier, I have some desires to use this in our in the LMR side of the world.
Right.
And there it is at the UHF. I'm sorry, there it is again. Return loss at the VHF band.
All right.
And then we move on up into the UHF band. Again, I'm primarily focused on markers for this show on the in the 440 band, but again, looking across the UHF band there, everything's acceptable.
Yeah. GMRS up to 463-ish, 468, whatever. It's still under a 2.6 to 1,
Right.
almost across the entire GMRS band.
Right, and most of your, just about 90% of your LMR band is going to be 450 to 470, and it's still very good into that.
Right.
And then your return losses here at your UHF band. Okay, and then I move on up to the 700, 800, 900 megahertz band. Oops, sorry, my computer's being slow here. Give it a chance to refresh. There we go. Okay, here we go.
I think you missed the one. Go up. Yeah, right there. There you go.
Yeah, it's every once in a while wants us to take a break and think about things. But there it is. Again, primarily I have the marker set for the 900 megahertz amateur band, but if you look from 820 on up, it's well within usable range. And
well, where is, I'm not familiar too much on 900. I know that like the offset's like 25 megahertz, isn't it? So the transmit's usually in like 905, and then it receives like 945 or something like that.
Right, and I'm primarily focusing because receivers aren't as critical as your transmitters, so I'm primarily focusing in the transmit area on the 900. So you'll see the marker at 902 and at 928. That's the upper edge of the amateur radio band, as close as the Anritsu will allow me to go. It does have some limitations on how sharp I can get the frequencies down.
Okay.
So it'll tend to round it off a little bit on me. But again, that's your 900 megahertz amateur band. And if you look across this, one of the reasons I'm looking at this quite heavily for LMR is a lot of the full spectrum antennas that we're using out there today, they are not good. They're a lot worse at up to 800, 900 megahertz band, and they're just not as efficient. So I'm sharing this information also with some of our LMR customers.
Or people with scanners could probably use this. I mean, pretty much scan everything from 2 meters all the way up to 900, man.
Right, and if they use this for their in place of say a disc cone or any of the wideband antennas, there is a base mount kit for this. I have to move this down a little because I'm at the bottom of this last document here. And then here's your return loss across the bands also. So you'll see it, for what it is, it's quite a good antenna. It will work and it'll do a lot of fill a lot of holes where typically what we see in a full spectrum radio nowadays, say like your Motorola APX 8000s, the Harris XL200s, and all their products along those lines. If we use frequency independent antennas, then we got to go through basically a tri-band power splitter, or which you would call some people call duplexers, but basically you have to go through a tri-band splitter and then run independent cables down or put that out in the weather. And you go 3 separate antennas. And as everybody knows, you don't have a lot of vertical real estate to mount everything all the time.
Right.
So we're looking at these antennas for multiple uses, control stations and also into vehicles.
Well, that's you know, people for can you share, how do you return the host to me, Jim?
Gee, you want to become host again? Give me a second
I
here.
think I want to take control, Jim. I want the power.
Let's see here.
Okay, so here we go. We're taking control here of Jim, what he had here. So I mean, that's pretty much, you know, what I wanted to show about this. Jim here on the bottom right here. Now I've lost control of Zoom totally. I have no idea where or how I'm doing this. Let's see if we right click, remove pin. Oh, we removed that. Let's see. Wow, Jim, we really screwed it up, guy. There we go. Let's do side by side gallery. But I can't figure out how to get rid of this on the screen because it's taking priority here, but you get the idea. Let's see, standard. There we go. There's Jim. There is Jim. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it back to full screen myself here.
Yeah, let's side by side. We're gonna leave it like this now. You guys get the understanding that my followers and viewers understand that, you know, I can work the world on there you go. Oh, because you didn't shut your screen off. Thanks, Jim.
Yep. Yeah, with my screen sharing.
Now I'm sitting here fighting with it. It's not my fault. So overall, this is the idea of this. One, I wanted to try a Zoom meeting. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I'd like, Jim, I first talked about this when I talked to Dr. Jack, when he had sent some of these, he designed these, and actually he provided a couple of these for giveaways for the Vero Beach Treasure Coast Ham Fest that we had for prizes, door prizes, and the people that used them said, wow, it works really well, but the reviews are online. And then I said, and this guy, Dr. Jack, I think you've talked to him on a meeting, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah, I had quite a long conversation, quite in-depth conversation with him about it.
He's really big
very sure.
into quantum theories. I mean, big stuff that I've never even heard of before. Like he understands this kind of stuff. And I thought, again, before I screwed that up with him, I would, you know, test drive this with you, Jim, with because I want to talk to him and get some theory behind his ideas and knowledge for those who are interested, because I've always got those people that say, you know, your videos are cool, but I want those videos that are really in depth. I want the technical side of it. I want the quantum antenna RF theory. Well, Dr. Jack has it, and I think maybe we can get him on there now that I play with Zoom a little bit. But anyways, my thoughts are, I want the Scan 3. I'm probably going to keep the dual band I have, the Comet, on my work vehicle. I'm probably going to put this one on my diesel with the GMRS in there because it's not so obtrusive. You know, I don't want all these antennas everywhere. And then I might do something with this one, maybe for APRS or something, maybe for a packet while I'm mobile. I'm not sure, but it doesn't take too much room. And I think these both are good for those who want very small form factors antennas that actually work. Because you can go on Amazon and eBay and find these antennas, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, this much gain, and they're just, you know, someone's just putting wire in there and they're not really working. Do you have any final thoughts on something like this? Your honest opinion, Jim, on these COMPACtennas and what you think about these for those who are watching?
Well, well, needless to say, I will be purchasing one. My son definitely wants to put one back onto his vehicle. So we'll be buying one for that. I am probably going to go ahead and also get one for my vehicle and have a full spectrum version of Scan 3 for what I do, because like you, having a big truck, you can't get in all the parking garages and everything else, and you know, there's only so much parking on the street we can get with our big trucks. Yeah. So it's
I mean, I've seen these things on their website. People on Corvettes mounted them. I mean, you got to have a Corvette with a ham radio in it, right? And they don't, you know, who wants a brand new Corvette with this 5-foot antenna? I mean, you know, I want a 5-foot antenna just for the nature of the beast, because I want to have the biggest antenna there is on there, or 6 foot. But sometimes something compact like this is someone that says, well, I want to get on ham radio on a mobile, but my wife will not let me put it on the Honda Civic. I think this one's pretty, you know, hideable. It's pretty comfortable as not an eyesore, you know what I mean? So, but you know, go ahead.
I was just going to say, but Eric, you know, with all the antennas you got on your truck, you're never going to meet one of the local counties down here. Had 17 antennas on the roof of their truck.
I need more antennas on my truck, Jim. I just got to find the places to put the radios. I could always use more antennas. I get so many people ask me, what are all those antennas there? are you an FBI? Are you hunting aliens? Are you an FBI guy? What, you know, and and some of them are folded over because I don't use some of those antennas. Maybe one's got 220 and 2 meter 440, and it's been folded over 6 months. And the first question I get, what's wrong with the broken antenna up there? Now I got it folded over because that thing hits everything. It's too tall, you know. So that's what I got. But Jim, I want to wrap this up and thank you. I think it's cool that I get my friend Jim here and on video, you know, and do something a little different. That's what it is. Keep it different. And, you know, adds, you know, some people may like this and some people may have comments. And if you have comments, and you leave them in the comment section below. When I do this with Dr. Jack, maybe we can go through those comments when I understand how to use Zoom in 2021 and, you know, read some of those comments and he can ask that. We can get into real good theory. So thank you, Jim, for being a part of this this late at night. I appreciate it. I'm super tired. I know you are too, but I had to fit it in there. And 7-3, Jim.
7-3, Eric. Have a good one.
You too. And everybody, thank you for watching. More videos are on the way. This is KJ4YZI with
KB4OVL.
7-3.
7-3.